Okay, guys. Well, we're going to be doing our lecture, and I think I'm going to do it on the boards or up on the big screen and make the video for you. And we're going to do our drafting one basic format. Now, what our format is basically what we've been doing all along. Let's see, I'll call one up. This is the basic information. When you've done your information, or your papers, you've got your title, things like that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be making a format. And with it, we're going to do it till we save it so that it is always going to be there for us and it's always going to be perfect. So let's start. The first thing we're going to do is hit our new. And definitely make sure you open a new with no template Imperial. Imperial is, once again, what the United States Americans use. We're not doing metric, so we're using the Imperial. Now, when it comes up, there's a few things. If you watched all the videos, you'll get most of these, but there's a few things. We're going to start off with units to make sure our units are set. So we're going to type in UNITS and hit enter. This comes up. This is what it defaults to. Yes, we want decimal. And see the precision? We're not going to be that crazy. We're going to go 0.00. Okay, that's what we want. And we're going to tell it okay. Now, we're going to type in limits. Okay. What limits are is it actually is how big our actual model space is. And right now, it's defaulted off 00, and it's like 12.9. You see right here it says 00. That's totally fine. Hit enter. Okay. Now, that was our lower left. That was right here where the UCS was. Now, our upper right originally was 12 by 9. Okay. So it means it's 12 over 9 up. Well, what we want it to be is going to be a 17, comma, 11. Okay, so just type right in there in the command line, 17, comma, 11. Now, what that's going to do when I hit enter, it's taken our paper, because our paper is going to be a B-size sheet of paper. A B-size sheet of paper is 17 by 11, but it's actually two regular 8.5 by 11 sheets. Those are your copy paper. You can put two of those together, that'll make your B. And the copy paper size is normally an A size. So we have our 17 by 11. Now, next thing I want you to do is just anywhere in the middle of the screen, I want you to right-click your red scroll mouse twice quickly. So 1, 2, and that did right here a zoom all, or a zoom extents, I should say, okay? So we made sure that we could see the whole thing, which is fine. All right, the next thing we're going to do is set up, and we're going to make some layers. We're only going to make a couple to start with, and we're going to come back and add more layers as we go through this drawing. So when you click the layers, the first time you do it, your box is going to come up in this area very small. Let's expand it out so you can see it. Now we're going to leave this 0 layer alone. We're going to come back and change it in a minute. But I'd like you to click on the new right here where the little piece of paper and the little star is, new layer. And the first layer we're going to type is going to be our paper. It is going to be P-A-P-E-R, and hit enter. The light bulb's going to be on, the sun is on, it is unlocked, and let's, right here where it says white, click on the word white, and we're going to turn this yellow and tell it okay. Now come over here where it says continuous, default, 0, color 2. Let's hit where it says plot and just click on the little plotter, and you'll see it has a little red no print sign on it. So let's jump up to the 0 layer. This is going to be our construction line. The only things we need to change here is, see where it says 0 and it says color is white? Click on that, make it red. Okay. And it also is a no plot. So let's now jump down and click new layer again. Now look what the layer did. It copied exactly what we had highlighted above it. So we got to do some changes. So this layer here is going to be format, F-O-R-M-A-T. Hit enter. Our color is going to be white. And guys, look on the colors that we're using. We're only going to use this row of colors right here. The white is right here, and it will actually say white down here. If it says a number, you're not picking the correct one. So it's that white right there, and tell it OK. It's going to be continuous. Now our line weight, we've got to change it. Click on the word default, and now you're going to scroll down and you need to find the 0.9. See the 0.9? Super thick. Tell it OK. And then over here with this printer, we definitely want that. Okay? So the next thing we're going to add after that is going to be text. So come back up here to new layer, and we're going to type in text, T-E-X-T. Hit enter. Text is going to be blue. So click on the white. We are going to go to blue. Tell it OK. It is continuous. And right here where it says it's 0.9 now, let's go ahead and do that as our 0.3. See right here, 0.3. And tell it OK. And we want that to print. So that's what we're going to start with. We have several more we're going to add in a little bit, but we're going to start with that. Now, we've got some things set up on our paper. So let's go ahead and get our paper set up. Put yourself in the zero, or not zero. Let's go to the paper layer, which is the yellow. You go right here. And notice, guys, by layer, by layer, by layer. Now, we can do several things. We can come in and draw a line, 11 by 17. We can do things like that. But you know what? Let's go ahead and do rectangle. So pick the word rectangle. And now, see what it says specify first corner or point? Type in 0, 0, and hit enter. See how it's going? So now, it's saying specify other corner point or area, dimensions, rotation. Let's go dimensions. So type D for dimension and enter. Or you can come down here and pick the actual word dimension yourself. Hit enter. And it says specify the length of the rectangle. We're going this way here, so it's going to be 17. And hit enter. And then the width is going to be 11. And hit enter. See how we have it? So there is our rectangle, 11 by 17. All right, now before we get any further, let's go ahead and get in here and let's go ahead and turn a few things on that we're going to need for this. First thing I'd like you to do is come up here where, oops, I forgot one thing. See with my rectangle, it's going this way and this way. I need to click it over here. Okay, so the rectangle's in place. Let's come up here and hit Save As. So we're going to hit the Save As. It's the little disc with the pencil. We're going to hit that. Now, Save Drawing As. I want you to hold down this arrow here, and I want you to find it where you are going to see an S drive. Mine's going to be here with Carolyn Gannon. I'm going to actually save mine to my desktop right now because I'm not at school and I can't connect in. But you guys are going to go to the S drive that's going to have your student number. So let's go there, and you are going to save this off as your E format. Okay, that's the English format, and that's what we're basically going to be using. So you go ahead and please save that off. Okay, it would be helpful if I picked the right thing. There we go, E format, save. Okay, so now we have our piece of paper. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to be working in our format lines. So I'd like you to come up here to paper and click on it and go to format. So from there, we're getting ready to go. Let's come down here and let's make sure we've got our snaps. Let's make sure we got everything set that we need. Come down to the bottom of your screen and come over here where it says snap cursor to 2D reference point is on, which is fine. Object snap, that turns it on and off is F3. We're going to right click and go to object snap settings. This is going to come up. What I'd like you to make sure you have on is endpoint, midpoint, center. I'm going to take the geometric center off right now. Leave node off. Quadrants, good to have, and intersection. Now, when we need these other ones, we can turn these off and on as we need, but this will do us well for right now. We're going to come back to this node one here soon because we're going to need him in a little bit. So let's tell it OK. Now, we need to draw our format line in here. The easiest way to do that is we're going to go offset. Now, when you watch the video and I was doing the offset, I said I'd show you something different. Well, this is what I'm going to show you, is that this is our actual layer. It's got our paper on it. If we offset that, it's going to stay in our paper. So what we're going to do as soon as we picked offset, see down here it says through, erase, layer. Let's go to layer first and pick on layer or type L for layer. Now it says current or source. If I leave it as source, which it defaults to, I offset in, this line will stay yellow. I don't want that. I want it to be on the format. So I'm going to click current. I can type in C for current or just pick the current. Now it's going to throw it on this layer here. So now it's asking my distance. I would like you to do a 0.5 and hit enter. Pick this yellow box and pick to the inside. Now we have that right there. All right, the next thing. We are coming up here, and do you see underneath the eraser, there's this little one that says explode. It doesn't explode things as you think as in kaboom. It just takes this polyline here and makes it 4 pieces. So I'm going to pick explode, and I'm going to take this white format, or the format box, and right click, and now it is in a separate pieces. That's all good. All right, next thing, let's go ahead and zoom in down here. We're going to do the next thing we need is another offset, and we're going to type in 0.6. We're coming from the bottom, and we're coming up. We're coming the new one, and we're coming up. So you pick this, pick up here, pick this, pick up here. Okay, now it should look like this. All right, next, back down here again. We're going to do our offset, and the first one we're going to type is 0.5 and enter. We are going to pick here and pick over. We are going to right click, enter, right click, repeat offset, and type in 3 and hit enter. We're going to pick this new line and come inside, and we're going to pick this line and come inside. Okay, now this is what we look like. Okay, next thing we're going to do, I'm hitting save to make sure that, and I'm not going to hit the save as again because I've already named it. So I'm just going to hit the save to make sure I'm saved. All right, I'm going to come to trim. When we got trim, you can hit your space bar. And what we're going to trim is these 3 lines to start with. And notice I'm just making a crossing window. And then I'm going to come right back here and do the same thing down here. Okay? Now, see this line didn't trim? There's nothing crossing. Yours might have, depending on where you pick things. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and just erase that line. And this is what I have now. Okay, once again, I'm going to hit my save. Now, let's zoom in on here. And we're going to put ourselves in the 0 layer. We're going to do another offset so we can get our guidelines for our writing. So let's go offset. And see down here, the layer, it says is current. And that's what we want because we're in our red. If that did not say current down there, we would pick our L for layer and then pick the C for current or pick the word current. Now let's type in 0.125. We're going to pick this line and come up. Pick your new red line, come up. Pick your new red line, come up. Pick your new red line, come up. Okay, now that we're here, we're not going to pick the red line. We're picking this top line, and we're coming up. And the next thing I'm going to do is right-click, enter, and I'm coming to trim. and I'm hitting my space bar, and I'm getting rid of this extra right here. So now I look like this. Okay, back over here. I'm coming back to my offset, and look down here. It already says 0.13. I'm going to do my 0.125. I know we set our limits to 2, so it actually rounded it up. So I'm just going to do 0.125, and I'm coming over here, picking this, coming above, picking this, coming above, picking this, coming above. Now, I am still in my offset command. I'm going to take this white line, and I'm going to come over to this side. I'm going to take my white line, and I'm going to come over this side. Now notice, I'm way up here because even if I picked up here, if I went down here, it may push this over to this other side because of the snaps. So I'm coming over here. So I've got it on both sides there. And now I'm coming over here. I am taking this one, and I'm just coming in this direction. Only need it on one side there. And I'm coming over here and taking this and coming here. Now, let's see what it looks like now. All right, are we good? Okay, let's get rid of this extra line by doing a trim. Pick the trim, hit your space bar, and pick that red line. Now, at this point, there's something I want to do, and I'll explain. We're going to be putting some lines in here, format lines and such. And when we do that, we need to find the midpoint. But if we did the midpoint of this line here, it's going to take it all the way down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another cool command, which you have not played with because we don't use it that much. We're going to come here and we're going to go to the word modify and hold the fly out. Do you see these two guys here? This is break between 2 points, and this is break at a point. I'm going to use this break at a point, and I'm going to break the line. So I'm picking break at a point, and I'm picking this line. Now it's saying, hey, where do you want to break it? I want to break it right there. So now this is actually 2 separate lines. Now I'm going to come over here to this side, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Modify, break at a point. I'm going to pick this line, and I'm going to break it right here. So now I have the 2 lines. Okay, next thing to do, put yourself back in your format layer, and we are going to take a line, and we're going to draw from the midpoint to the midpoint. Okay, so that's going to work out really well. Now, we need to do and have 3 boxes. We're going to do several things. We're going to make this format set up so that we can have a full drawing. We can have 4 boxes. We can have 6 boxes. So let's go ahead and get the 6 boxes. And let me see if I can see where it is on. It's right through here. I keep forgetting where this one is all the time. Let me check. Okay. If I can find what I'm looking for. Okay. Not right there. I will find it later for you. So we're going to make it quicker, and we're going to just type it in for us. Okay. We want to take and make 2 lines so we have 3 complete spaces across. Okay. With that, I'm not going to measure. What I'm going to do is just type in this command. My command is divide. D-I-V-I-D-E. And hit enter. It says select your object to divide. I want this one. And it says how many segments? I want it broken into 3. So I'm going to type 3 and hit enter. All right, it's divided. Watch. See, pick it. It looks like nothing happened. Actually, there is something. Underneath here, there's little dots. And a dot is called a node. N-O-D-E. We would like to take and drop our lines here. So what I'm going to do is pick copy, take this format line. Once I pick it, I'm going to right click. It's going to ask me for the base. I'm going to take the base here, and I'm going to drag this across. Now, here's something that I like about your O-snaps. You know, down here we have our O-snaps, and we need to have the one that's called node turned on, but I don't want it on forever. So what I'm going to do is an O-snap override. I'm going to say, hey, all you snaps turn off except I want node only. So as I'm in the middle of this command, I can type in N-O-D-E and hit enter. And I can walk my way all the way across till I see this weird, there it is right there. There's my node. I can do that again as I'm coming across, and I can even right click and go to node. I find it easier just typing node, and then I'm going to go right across. I find it there too. So now I have 6 boxes. Now I'm still in here, and you may be wondering why. The reason is I want to take this one more time, and I want to copy it and put it right to here. Now, this is going to be our basics for our setup, and I'm going to save off at this point right now, and then I'm going to do my text because I got to get myself to school, and you may be hearing it. I've got a dog snoring in the background, and it's kind of crazy. So think about it. When I call it up and I say, hey guys, I want 1 box, I erase these lines. Hey, I need 6 boxes, you erase this line. Hey, I need 4 boxes, you erase this line and this one. It's easier just go in there and erase the boxes we don't need or the lines we don't need than having to redraw them in over and over again. So at this point, I'm going to hit my save. I'm going to stop this, and this will be format part 1. We've got this done. The next thing we're going to work on the second part of the video is down here. We're going to do all the text, and I'll do that when I get into school. All right? So hopefully that has helped, and you guys will be good to go on that, and I will be back soon. Thanks.